Welcome back. As the economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic continues, some families are starting to use up what little savings they may have had. They're also looking at their budgets, trying to figure out how to save money and to cut back. And to help us figure it all out, we're joined live by financial professional Jeff Hines of the Binnacle Group. Jeff, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning indeed. Now, I know you have some advice for us. First of all, what would you say to somebody who just lost their job and hasn't really saved a lot? They don't have a big savings cushion.
Yeah, it's a tough thing because this is an unprecedented time. We have to have a plan, and I know I say that a lot, especially around Christmas, coming up with a plan and a budget, and now more so than ever. You know, the rule was always having 6 months of savings in our checking account to live off of in case of an event like this, and unfortunately, not a lot of people can do that. So have a plan. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
How about looking at our expenses? What are some ways we can maybe tackle the cable or internet bill or deal with your mortgage?
And once again, don't be afraid to ask for assistance. Call those companies up, let them know that you're having some financial difficulties. See if they can lower your monthly fees. See if they can sometimes extend payments that might be due. We have to be smart. There's a lot of really good programs out there that are offering assistance for people. You just have to ask.
Right. And there's also, people can call Michigan's 211 number. What can they find there?
Another great resource. Once again, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and in worst case scenario, someone's going to tell you that they can help, and you're no better off than you were when you started.
Right. Well, what advice would you give to somebody who still has their job right now, but they're really worried about the future and possibly losing their job or being laid off?
Once again, now's the time that we have to really put a good plan in place. Save. Let's spend money on the things that we need to spend. Fortunately, there's not a lot of travel going on, so we can't spend a lot of money that we might have been doing during this time of year. So let's save, because no one has any idea of how long this is going to last, the economic, how long this is going to affect the economy. And so we have to be prepared to really, be ready and have some cash reserves.
What about if you have a 401k that you normally put money into? Should you stop putting money into it?
I always hate to say that, because we want to save for the future. Obviously, the stock market is on a little bit of a roller coaster right now. So maybe pull back from some more risky investments and go into some more conservative investments, so that maybe you're not taking the big gains if the big gains happen, but you're not losing as much if the market would take a downturn.
And try to start that rainy day fund. If you haven't already, just start socking money away. I also wanted to ask you about people who find they're taking on debt for the first time and maybe a long time, starting to rack up the credit card bills. What would you tell them?
And once again, you hate to say this, but it's a reality of what we're dealing with right now. People, unfortunately, are having to use their credit cards when they didn't use them before. Let's be smart about it. Let's use credit cards that have a smaller interest. Sometimes there's still programs available where you have a 0% interest for 6 months or 12 months on a card. Certainly, we want to use those cards before we use the high interest card, because we don't want to spend a lot of years paying back this money that we're borrowing right now.
And use your stimulus check for which expenses?
Well, once again, I mean, we have to cover, the major expenses: our food, our housing, our electric, and then if there's any monies left over, let's put it away for the rainy day, because it's raining right now, folks, and we got to be really smart about the decisions we're making.
So true. Jeff Hines from the Binnacle Group, thank you so much for your advice. We really do appreciate it.
You guys have a good morning. Stay safe.
You too.